Why is your cat waking you at 4 a.m.? For countless cat owners all across the globe, the day begins with that bleary-eyed stumble to the food bowl just to stop the meowing. Now, you might think it's just morning hunger, right? And that you're doing the absolute right thing by serving them their morning meal within minutes of waking up. But the reality is, veterinarian and animal behaviorists increasingly warn against this. Feeding them the very second you wake up actually creates a highly stressful, unintentional Pavlovian cycle that ends up disrupting your entire household. The core issue here is what's known as the morning feeding trap. When you instinctively reach for that food bowl the moment you wake up, or worse, the moment they start crying, you are inadvertently training an incredibly intelligent creature that waking their human equals getting fed. You're strongly reinforcing a demanding behavior. On top of that, feeding your cat immediately upon waking completely blurs the boundaries between animal and human needs. When your cat's schedule dictates your morning routine, it signals to the animal that their desires take precedence over your own needs, and not lack of structure can actually manifest in excessive attention-seeking or even territorial aggression later in the day. Here is exactly how this behavioral equation plays out. Step 1, the cat wakes the human. Step 2, the human yields and feeds them. Step 3, the cat learns this works flawlessly, so they shift the wake time earlier tomorrow. This simple associative learning is astonishingly powerful. A friend of mine actually endured 6 months of 3 a.m. wake-up calls before she realized she had built the alarm clock herself. What started as 7 a.m. demands gradually shifted to 6:30, then 6, and eventually 5 a.m., all because the cat was running a highly successful, self-perpetuating experiment on her. So how do we break the cycle? It comes down to establishing healthy boundaries with a simple timeline. 0 minutes, you wake up. 15 minutes, you absolutely ignore the demands and just start your day. 30 minutes, now you serve breakfast. You see, after sleeping for 7 to 10 hours, your cat's stomach is relatively empty and their digestive enzymes are at rest. Feeding them immediately shocks their digestive system without any preparation time, which can cause temporary discomfort, nausea, or loose stools. Yes, cats are crepuscular, meaning they're naturally active at dawn and dusk, but they need about 15 to 30 minutes of natural movement to let their digestive system activate gradually. Plus, delaying the meal prevents those rapid blood sugar spikes and the subsequent crashes that leave your cat lethargic and grumpy by mid-morning. If you literally cannot bear the meowing while you wait, just use an automatic feeder and remove yourself from the feeding equation entirely. Now, as we move away from breakfast, let's examine the broader psychology of feline routines. Because a schedule isn't just about food, it's about emotional safety. Cats just aren't as flexible or independent as we assume they are. They are precision animals. Every single reliable event in their day functions as a critical daily anchor. When these anchors hold steady, your cat's stress stays low. But when you break these patterns, you are effectively pulling the rug out from under their entire sense of security. What's really fascinating is the stark contrast in how we view the world compared to our pets. As humans, we usually think unpredictability is exciting and fresh. We love a spontaneous weekend. But look at the cat's perspective. Unpredictability creates uncertainty, which immediately produces cortisol and stress. For a prey species like a cat, a surprise change in the schedule doesn't breed curiosity, it breeds anxiety. Consistent departure times, consistent play times, and consistent feeding are literally the absolute bedrock of their well-being. Then there is the number 20, which represents another massive biological need, sleep. Cats need 16 to 20 hours of sleep for critical cellular repair and immune function, and this repair happens exclusively during deep sleep. This means those well-intentioned afternoon wake-ups you give them just for a quick cuddle are actually compounding biological damage. Interrupting their sleep across months and years creates a highly reactive companion with a much shorter fuse and a body that ages faster than it naturally should. Seriously, just let them sleep. Beyond routines, our homes are filled with invisible threats. These are seemingly innocent household items that we genuinely think are fine or even helping them, but are actively eroding their health right under our noses. Let's look at some common household hazards you might have sitting in your living room right now. Essential oil diffusers? They slowly accumulate in a cat's liver because felines lack the enzymes to metabolize compounds like eucalyptus and lavender. Covered litter boxes force your cat to breathe in concentrated ammonia every single day, causing invisible respiratory irritation. Static toys become basically dead furniture to a cat's pattern-detecting brain after just about 30 seconds of looking at them. And those spray bottles everyone uses, they absolutely do not correct behavior. They simply teach your cat that you are unpredictable and dangerous. Even our direct affection can sometimes be a hazard. Consider this staggering number: 2 million.
That is the number of highly sensitive olfactory receptors in a cat's nose. Their sensory world is incredibly intense compared to ours. Which brings us to a very common, very innocent mistake owners make entirely out of pure love.
There is a massive disconnect happening here. Human intent, leaning in for a sweet nose kiss to show deep affection. Cat experience, a terrifying sensory collision. When you bring your giant face and breath right up to their hypersensitive nose, their nervous system doesn't register a kiss, it registers a predator approach. You might think they're just being moody or aloof when they turn their head away from you, but they're actually engaging a learned protective response to shield themselves from an intense sensory invasion. Because cats are evolutionary masters at hiding vulnerability, when these environmental stressors or physical pains accumulate, they don't whine or cry out the way dogs do. Think about it. In the wild, making noise when you are weak practically invites predators. So their cries for help are incredibly subtle, and if you don't know exactly what to look for, you will miss them completely. Let's break down some of these subtle indicators of distress. A sudden vocal silence is actually just as alarming as urgent meowing. Hiding in deep, isolated dark spots isn't a request for alone time, it's a vulnerable animal protecting itself. A dull, matted coat isn't laziness. Grooming requires a lot of flexibility, and a messy coat often means severe joint or dental pain is preventing them from bending. And sudden aggression or hissing when you touch them, that's not a bad mood. That is a cat aggressively guarding a body that is actively hurting. I want to pause on this specific quote because it is quite literally a matter of life and death. Straining in the litter box is an absolute medical emergency. If you ever notice your cat lingering in the box, repeatedly visiting it, or straining with zero output, drop everything. A complete urinary blockage can cause fatal kidney failure within 24 to 48 hours. This isn't something you just observe for a day to see if it gets better. This is the moment you immediately call the emergency vet. Now, when we finally understand these biological boundaries, when we eliminate the stressors, stop the immediate morning feedings, and address their hidden pain, something really amazing happens. We can start to truly appreciate the true language of trust and the beautiful, subtle ways they communicate with us in those quiet evening moments. Take the sequence of the gentle paw press, for example. Step 1, they assess your stillness. Step 2, when they gently press that paw against your arm, they are using hidden scent glands in their paw pads to leave invisible chemical markers right on you. They are officially claiming you as their safe territory. Step 3, that physical pressing motion actually taps into a self-soothing reflex, as old as their kittenhood, from when they used to press against their mother. What's really fascinating here is how we completely misread their nighttime behavior. Human assumption: my cat is waking me up by stepping on my chest because they are being needy and clingy. Cat reality: I am doing a wellness check on my bonded human. When you sleep completely still, you stop giving the normal behavioral cues they rely on. That paw press on your face or chest is literally them feeling for your breath. They are checking on you because you are their ultimate anchor of safety. And this brings us to the ultimate compliment: the lifted paw. By definition, a cat in the wild needs all 4 paws on the ground to launch in any direction to survive a threat. When your cat rests next to you with their body totally loose and actively lifts one paw and rests it on you, they are deliberately cutting their evolutionary escape options in half. They are telling you, against every survival instinct they possess, that they feel so completely safe with you that they don't even need to be ready to run. Which brings us to a final question I want to leave you with today. Are you ready to speak their language? Now that you know the hidden physiological weight of that 4 a.m. feeding, the invisible toxins in those diffusers, and the quiet, ancient promises in their paw touches, how will you adjust your daily routines? You have the tools now to stop projecting human assumptions onto them and to finally show them the love they actually understand. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.